Hi, and welcome back to Lisa's Stamp Studio. I've got 3 easy inking techniques for you today. Each of the techniques I'm going to be sharing with you, I have a completed card for, and each of the cards is entirely different stamp sets, different colors. You'll be able to find a link down in the video description below that will navigate you over to the pictures, cutting dimensions, and the supplies for each of these cards. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon that's next to it. That will send you notifications when I'm live right here on YouTube, as well as when I share a new video. Let's head over to the stamp table and get started on today's techniques. The first technique is going to be using a solid stamp image. As a matter of fact, I recommend all solid images for the techniques I'm going to share with you today. You're going to want to start with the lightest color on the actual stamp itself, and I'm using Balmy Blue. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp it right here on the cardstock so you can see its true color. I've just cleaned the stamp, and I'm going to ink it up one more time, and I'm going to turn it face up on my work surface. And I'm using a complementary darker shade to that ink. This is Pretty Peacock. And what you're going to do is you are literally going to tap or thump the color right on top of the stamp. I do recommend that you keep the stamp turned so that you're going to get different patterns along the way. The more you cover it, the more intensity you're going to get. Once you're happy with it, turn it upside down and then stamp it right on top of your cardstock. And that's going to provide beautiful detail to your image. Now, you may be wondering if any color transferred to the marker, and you don't have to worry about that as long as you're using a darker marker than the actual ink pad itself. So always make sure you start with a lighter color on the stamp and then use a darker marker. And here is the completed card that I created using that technique. Isn't this beautiful? The stamp set is called Floral Essence. You'll be able to find this stamp set, as well as all the others I'm sharing with you today, in the current Stampin' Up! Catalogs. Now, if you don't already have a demonstrator and you are interested in receiving complimentary copies, head over to lisastampstudio.com and click on Contact Me. The next technique is using a solid stamp once again, and this time I'm using the Pool Party ink. But this time, instead of using a marker, I'm going to be using a small ink spot. Now, this one was pre-filled as part of the Paper Pumpkin kits that I receive every single month. Paper Pumpkin is a craft subscription that comes to your home. It includes pre-cut supplies, photo directions, a different color ink spot every month, which is a great way to try out new colors, and a stamp set. The price is $22 in the US, and that already includes shipping. Only your local sales tax will apply. However, you can buy these spots empty in the current catalog, and then you can use your ink refill to fill them, and it's also a great way to keep them re-inked over time. I'm going to go ahead and remove the lid to get that ready, and you're going to see that this stamp is relatively large compared to the ink pad, so I like to ink it face up to make sure I don't miss an area, and we're going to tap that color on. Once you have that inked, go ahead and take your spot, just lightly tap it on your image. How much you put on is entirely up to you, and you're going to go ahead and stamp that on your cardstock. Make sure you apply good, firm, even pressure, and you're going to notice that some areas are going to be darker than others. The one thing about this technique is no two images are ever going to look the same. Here's the card I created using that technique. The stamp set is called Silhouette Scenes, and it's also in the current annual catalog. My final technique uses this dandelion image. Keep in mind that if you're going to use a larger, more solid image in this, you're going to want to pay close attention to the rocking I'm going to provide in this technique. Just like before, you're going to start with the lightest color first. This is Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to ink the stamp up. I'm also going to make sure I get my pumpkin pie ink ready, so that's nearby. And then I'm going to come over to the pumpkin pie. And then what we're going to do is we are going to rock and roll. Where the color ends up is always a mystery, but it allows you to get two tones to your image. So you see how we've got some of that daffodil here, as well as in the center of that image. And just like before, no two of your cards are going to be alike. And here's the completed card for that technique. The stamp set's called Dandelion Wishes. There's some great mixed font greetings in here, as well as those dandelion images. Whether you want to create a rock and roll technique, or you want to use the spots to create two-tone color right on your stamp, or you want to use your marker to do a little bit of thumping, these are 3 fun, easy ways to create new inking techniques. If you have enjoyed today's video, would you please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube, which is a like, it certainly helps. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.